Today, we're going to go on a trip and we're going to go to smart galleries and go look at some art exhibits. We haven't done this before, and we live near an area called Cave Creek, Arizona, which has a lot of really cool art galleries. So we're really excited to go check it out. But I'm going to show you how you can use Google Maps to map out your course and figure out where you're going to go. So let's go. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Google, and what I want to do is I want to go to Maps, Google Maps. In the browser, I'm typing maps.google.com. And then when that comes up, you see here that we have my normal map here. And there's lots of ways to get to the maps you're going to create, so you can make pins to drop. But what I do is I usually go to my saved maps here, and then the maps on the right side, and then you can see at the very bottom here I can create a map. So when it comes up here, you get a message here that pops up that says creating a My Maps map always uploads title, thumbnail, and associated metadata to your drive. So you're going to go ahead and create that, and then as you create it, it's going to ask you what you want to call it. And so what I do is I will call this, I'll rename this. Let's see, we're going to call this, today we're going to art galleries, so I'm going to call this Cave Creek Art Galleries. And then I save that. And now, as you can see, what we can do is we can actually put in the address and figure out what we are going to put into the maps. So I'm going to map out a course here of where I'd like to go. The first place I'm going to put here is a place called the Cave Creek Collective. So I'll go into the search bar and put in Cave Creek Collective, and here it is right here. We can get that message here, and here's where it is on the map. Now what I want to do is click on this Add to Map like this. So now you can see that this is marked with the location, as well as in this map under Cave Creek Art Galleries, there's the Cave Creek Collective. The next place on the list I want to continue on here is called the Finer Arts Gallery, and here it is right here up at the top. So I'll click on it. There's the location right here, and what we can do is click on the dot and say Add to Map. So now you can see we have two locations here. Now I can continue on and add some other locations that I'd like to see as well. Okay, now I've added all the locations that I wanted to go to today. And there's one at the last moment here. I added the Bull and Brew Coffee because my wife Michelle and I always like to try new coffee places, and Cave Creek's no exception. So since we're there, we're going to take advantage of this. But you can see this is the last thing I added, so it's at the end of the list. But really, this is at the beginning. It's actually near the Cave Creek Collective. So what I'm going to do is I can just grab this and pull it up to the location I want it to be. So now here's the order of from the closest location going through the town of the art galleries that we'd like to visit today. And Cave Creek is a great place with lots of art. This is just a fraction of their art studios and art exhibits that they have there if you're into that kind of stuff. Today is going to be a total culture day, so this is what we're going to use. Another thing you can do, which is nice about Google Maps, is if I want to give this place a description, so let's say we go today, then I want to say whether we liked it or not, then I can still use this map, and then I can come in here and click the edit button. And what I could do is give a description and say, in this case, have not tried it yet. I'll leave this in here, but I can put a note in here for later, and I can save it or maybe put other information. But you can see it retains this note so that if I decide we want to do this again in a few months, then I can have information here and track what I'm doing and what's going on, what we thought about it, whatever. It's all there. There's other things you can do. You can see there's other widgets here, so you can click on this and give its own color. Since it's coffee, maybe I want to give it an orange button here, so you can see on the left side. Now it's marked that as a coffee, so it stands out from the rest. I could color code it other ways that I wanted to. I already showed you the description. I could add images if I want to add, a picture of what I want to share, put it out there. Or I can delete this, and let's say I don't like it at the end of the trip, then I can delete it off of here completely, and I don't have to make any marks or say anything about it. Okay, now the last thing I want to do is I have already put this in the order that I want to see them, but if you wanted to, up here at the top of the bar here, there's this information here that shows add directions. So if you put this in, then you can see here that you could actually put what you want for a specific route. So let's say if I wanted to go from the Bull and Coffee and say I want to go to the farthest one, to Miguel's, then I can start putting that up here. Uh, and then you can see that it'll give you the directions of how to get to each location. So just another little thing that you can use to figure out if you want to get from one place to another. Since my location here is already in order, I'm not too worried about it, but I could literally bring each one down. You just click on add a destination and put this in the order that you'd like to go, and it would show you the route. Okay, just as an example, I'll show you the whole route here. You can see, so I've added all the locations here in the areas that I want them. Now if we see at the very beginning, here's where we start out, here's your stops A, B, C, and then you can see it'll take me all the way through to the last stop in G here. So if you're doing something that's farther distance than what our map is here today, then of course you can map this out and figure it out. For example, later this month, we're going to be doing a little another little travel thing, and so I'm going to make sure that I map out where we're at because those distances are much farther, 30, 60 miles apart. Now that I'm driving, what I can do is I can actually look at the route. So since I'll be in my car, I won't have my computer, which is where I demonstrated what you can do. What you do is you click on the bottom here on U, and then from here there's a button about 3/4 of the way down the right side says Maps. I can click on the Maps button, and then here you can see the Cave Creek Art Galleries is the one I just created, so I can click on that, and there we go. This gives me the directions and everything that I want to do there. So while I'm out and about, I can use Google Maps to show exactly where I'm at.